going live. All right, Facebook, tune in. We're back live right here on Facebook Live on the Vnetwork Radio. Bringing you some good gospel music right here on the Vnetwork Radio. Make sure you tell a friend, tell a neighbor we're on.
We are on.
Getting our praise on. Hey, we got some new music by Dennis Gardner, Get My Praise On, and we'll be coming up with our interview. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Vnetwork Radio, doing a great job. We're here live on Facebook, hey, doing it with new music by Dennis Gardner, Get My Praise On, and also we'll be hearing some music by Priscilla Atwater, recording artists. Both are recording artists, and we're going to get right into it shortly. Get your praise on. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Right here on the Vnetwork Radio.
White wings, long road, while my father tell me, son, you ran a good race. When the days got dark, you held on to your faith. Don't you miss mistake. The one for who we live for. And when we die, be with him forevermore. Don't be shocked when I pump my fist like this. Spiritual lyric, bring the message like an evangelist. God gave the gift, so should I sleep and let the rocks praise him? Edify the righteous one and just raise him. Praise him, God, but he's the one and only. When your friends walk away, he will never leave you lonely. That's how we do, from night until the early morn. Spiritual lyric, one accord, get your praise on.
All right, welcome to the Vnetwork Radio. I'm your host, Don Paget, and we're back with you right here on Facebook Live, bringing to you some good gospel music. That was Get My Praise On by Dennis Gardner, and he's one of the producers of this particular project that we just played for you. I tell you, I'm getting my praise on right now. I'm telling you, it's great. Hey, I want to take this opportunity to welcome Dennis Gardner. and Priscilla Atwater. And Priscilla wasn't able to join us right now, but we're hoping that she can join us right after interview with her brother, Dennis Gardner. And he's been in the music industry for so many years, working with so many different artists, Quincy Jones and different artists. And he's here to talk to us about the gospel industry and this new project that he's created, Grateful, and and all the other projects that that he's written and produced, and the music that he's written and produced. I want to take this opportunity to let's all say welcome to Dennis Gardner. Thank you for being here on the V Network Radio. How are you today?
I'm doing good, doing good.
All right.
Thank you for
Hey,
having
yes, we're so happy to have you join. Looked like we wasn't going to be able to connect, but we finally made it.
me. Finally made
Yes, yes, yes. So happy to have you today. Today we're gonna be talking about the gospel music industry, talking about your project and projects that you have produced in the gospel industry, and how we can make the gospel industry, actually the music industry, much better. A lot of we have new artists that's out there. We have, original artists, professional artists that have created music, and sometimes when you're down through the years, you lose that drive to want to create music. And so we want to spice it up tonight and talk about the industry and industry talk. And Dennis, tell us a little bit about yourself and um, and why you're into the music industry.
Well, I come from a musical background. My family,
Mm-hmm.
my mom used to sing. We used to have a little group called the Garner Family. We used to travel all over North Carolina, and
Okay.
that's basically um, when I first started. The first thing I started was a fly swatter and
Wow.
a box of cereal. That was my amp, and
Uh
the fly swatter was my guitar.
huh. Wow.
So I was like three, and I was just walking around playing. So I was inspired by a gentleman by the name of George Coltrane,
Mm-hmm.
which is Toot. Everybody knows him as Toot Coltrane, but I found out, which is some kin to me, but I found out maybe 3 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
his cousin, which now is my cousin, because I know this, is the jazz player uh, Coltrane,
Mm-hmm.
John Coltrane.
John Coltrane. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found out he's my cousin. Didn't know that all these years.
Wow. Wow.
So, but he was the person that I just admired, just sit and watch him play to coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, to make a long story short, I come up through the church, um, playing for the church for years and years and years, and then as I started doing that,
Mm-hmm.
I went from the piano to I went from the guitar to the piano, from the piano
Mm-hmm.
to the drums, from the drums to um, organ. Then I went from the organ to saxophone, and then it just whatever I just picked up, I just hit the gift.
Right.
Hmm.
And tell us a little bit about your music and the type of music that you have typically that you created.
Okay. Well, I would say my music is not in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just learned how to play what I feel. I never had lessons, so it was a God's gift, and I just try to play with feeling instead of just cut dry 1 2 3 4 1. It got kind of boring to me to try to do it. The
Mm-hmm.
the book way was boring to me.
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But not saying nothing against that, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't free. It
Right.
didn't. I couldn't flow.
Yeah.
So the music that I just try to make music that inspire.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I try to let what's inside of me come out through my music.
Mm-hmm. And that's the vibe that we got. And we got an up tempo vibe that we just played. Get my praise on.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, I heard that song and I was like, and I played it. And we've been playing it on the V Network Radio, and I'm like, wow.
Hmm.
What inspired you to write this particular song? Um, Get my praise on.
Um, I wanted to do something that could relate to both sides. The younger side, you know. Um, I brought a rapper in by the name of Tony Roper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all of the songs that I have rap in,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that's done it for me. I have a couple of more songs that he's done for me. Um, I just was inspired by just, I guess, if it was a artist that inspired me, it would be
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Franklin
Okay.
to do that song.
All right.
But I always was I've been told I'm always ahead of my time. When I
Yeah.
come out with stuff, it's not, most people not ready for it then. So, get my praise on. That's been out a long time.
Well,
But
yeah, but it's
now's
new.
the season for
It's
it.
new. It's new. It's new to us. Yeah, it's new to us, and right here on the V Network Radio, and our viewers and listeners.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, if they haven't heard it, this is the first time that they heard it. I'm telling you, that song is really touching. Because a lot of times, you go into these different churches, especially now,
Hmm.
during times that message, get my praise on. I
Hmm.
preached a message last week about praises unto God, how Paul and Silas was in jail and they
Hmm.
sang praises unto the Lord.
Right.
They said, "Get my praise on," and they become overcomers, by
Right.
their praise. And so that's one of the things that's encouraging to us is that we got to be inspired during these times. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah,
uplifting.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely uplifting. We want to talk about your music, but we want also the V Network Radio viewers and the listeners out there. If you got a question, make sure you post it in the chat. We're monitoring the chat right now, and make sure you post your question in the chat that you have. I'm out here on Facebook on our group page, and we're monitoring Facebook. Make sure that if you are um, if you are out there and you would like to ask Dennis a question, make sure you feel free to chime in because it's all about our listeners, our viewers, and it's about our artists in the artist industry. We want to make sure that information is being presented to our artists in the industry. All right, so make sure you do that. Hey, let's talk about and we'll get back to your project, Dennis. Let's talk
Hmm.
about Priscilla Garner Atwater, her project. Let me just tell you a little. Let's tell our viewers a little bio. Uh, she's a recording gospel artist, Priscilla Gardner Atwater, and her talks on her new CD project, Grateful. I am the eldest and the only girl of three. I began playing piano at the age of 12, and I now have over 50 years of experience using this God given talent. As an extension of God's goodness and grace, He gave me the song Grateful in December of 2019. My sincere hope is that this song touches the hearts of those who listen to it. This is a great way for you to be inspired by this recording artist, Priscilla Garner Atwater, and you worked on this project, correct, Dennis?
Yeah. Yes.
And you are Priscilla's brother.
Yes.
All right.
I'm the
Can you
baby boy.
give? All right. Yeah, give us some info about Priscilla. I know she's out there watching. She wanted to come live, and we're
Hmm.
hoping that we can have her come live maybe later on
Okay.
tonight sometime to go live.
Hmm.
But we're here with you, and you're going to take it for her for now, and then hopefully we can get her on. And she's coming out of North Carolina, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she's all the way from North Carolina, and I know she wanted to be on, and we're going to see if we can make that happen.
Okay.
Right tonight, and I appreciate you all taking out the time, to be on the V Network Radio. Let's talk about the project.
Hmm.
Grateful.
Yep. Well, she was walking around her house one day, and she just got to humming it, because she was thinking about how grateful she was with her family, everybody well, and our dad still living, and
Mm-hmm.
just and she was just thankful. So she just came up with the song.
Mm-hmm.
So she came up to the house, and
Mm-hmm.
she was like, "I wrote a song," and we
Uh-huh.
all kind of started laughing because she's the clown.
Yeah.
She's like, "I wrote a no, I'm serious. I got a song."
Uh-huh.
So she started singing it, and I just went over to the keyboard and started playing it. And within probably 2-3 weeks, we was
Mm-hmm.
recording it.
Wow.
So she she shocked us because normally when she do that, she'll start singing something crazy. You know,
Right.
I got a song. I want you to hear it, and it's something crazy.
Uh-huh.
So nobody really took her serious till she started singing it.
Yeah.
But it was a nice project. I mean, that's her first time, her first single.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she ended up something else. She said she's not, but
Mm-hmm.
it's in her. It's in her because she when we had the Garner family,
Mm-hmm.
it was me, her, mom, and my brother. He
Right.
would play the bongos, I would play the guitar, and those two would sing.
Right.
So it's in her, but
Yeah.
sometimes, well, see, she would say it well, cause she was trying to get somebody to sing something,
Uh-huh.
and she said, "Well, if I had a song, I would sing it," and God gave her one, so she had to sing
All right. All
it.
right. Yeah.
So it was pretty fun,
Yeah.
pretty fun.
And how was it that you were introduced? I mean, how did you come in to create the music, or come in to bring your creative juices into this project? Grateful.
I just sit and I just listened to it, and I just said, "Well, I edited. Well, I started off with the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Now, um, I laid the piano down
Mm-hmm.
first. Then I added the guitar to it. Then I came back and added the organ to it. And I kind of, I just went by the feel of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a different style of song.
Right.
So I kind of went by that. And that's what I meant by not being in a box. Because if I was in a box,
Yeah.
I
Uh
couldn't
huh.
want to been able to switch to that style of song.
Right.
So I tried not to tie myself down to only playing one type of music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that diverse come in. That really helped.
All right. And now, did you produce the single project, or I know you play
Yeah.
instruments on the project? You produced the entire project?
Yes. Hmm. Uh,
Okay.
I did the background. I recorded. I did everything. All
Okay.
she had to do was come in and sing.
All right. And what was that like for you? On an inspirational level, to be able to work with your family. A lot of times, you work with your family
Mhm.
like, oh boy,
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like for you to be able to work with your family? Because I know I would be honored, like, to work with my family on a project, because you can pour out your heart, really, and to create, the music and, vocals and things like tracks and things like that. And, with the
Yeah.
music, how was it for you?
It was That's my first time ever doing anything with my immediate family.
Yeah.
You know, first
Uh
time ever. First time ever. In all 55 years.
huh. All right. All right.
Everybody else.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah.
know. So it was
Mm-hmm.
she was she was she was shocked
Right.
because the way when she sung to it, it wasn't nothing but
Mm-hmm.
piano.
Right.
So when I waited to add other stuff after I heard what she was gonna do.
Okay. And now, now when you recorded, did you record in a studio, or do you have a studio that you recorded in, or?
It was a portable studio.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
All right. And so
Mobile.
you pretty much you produced it. Now, did you engineer it also?
Yes,
Oh, you did everything.
I did. Yeah, I did the whole project.
Oh, wow, wow. Okay. All
Hmm.
right. Hey, yeah. So, you went into the studio. Now, how, we got a lot of artists out there that's just starting into the music and just getting into it, and they think that when you go into the studio, you just get in there and just do a recording, and you know, presto, presto, there it's automatically done, and they can get it, distributed out. How is it, for the recording process, that you all took, step by step process.
um, so from the very beginning, we did music first. A lot of times, um, a lot of artists, well, a lot of groups wants to come in and do everything at one time, which it can be good, but it can
Mm,
also be bad
right.
because you know if you got everybody on separate tracks, somebody mess up, only that person go back and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got drum that bleeds over into your mics
Yeah.
and he mess up, then everybody got to do it over.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So what we did was just track by track. I just
Mm-hmm.
put a basic little beat just so I can keep tempo, play it, and she sung it. Well, then I came back after she sung it the first time as a
Mm-hmm.
trial just to see a dummy vocal
Right.
so I could lay the background down.
Okay.
And then she come back and sang it. And then I add stuff around so I wouldn't overplay. So I just
Mm.
um but you just taking you have to, it's two ways you can do it. You can do it and know you made a mistake, not say nothing about it, or you can
Mm.
just do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear a lot of recordings that you hear the mistake yourself,
Uh-huh.
but a lot of the audience never hear it, and you be like, "Did
Right.
you hear that?" And they be like, "What?"
Well, a lot of times, professionals in the trade, they know how to, cover up,
Right, cover up,
their
right,
tracks.
right. If you got
But
an ear for it, you can hear it.
yeah.
But that just goes to show you, it don't have to be perfect.
Right.
It just you just have to be able to cover it up.
Mm. Yeah, well, that's a good thing that you have a producer and then engineering that they can go in and tweak those mixes and
Right.
and the vocals and things like that. Add, subtract.
But see, with the
Yeah.
new equipment now, You can do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've talked to when this first started. I talked to someone. They was doing studio work,
Mm-hmm.
doing background.
Uh,
So they came in, sung the background one time.
uh.
Took them 2 minutes
Wow.
to do the whole song. Cause all they did was copy, paste, copy, paste, copy,
Right.
paste. That's how they get it perfect.
Right.
They do the background to get it right, then they copy it and paste it where it goes. That's why it sounds the same every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one of the tricks that they.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and so, the creative process, getting into the studio with the proper mixes, having great engineer, producer
Mm-hmm.
in there. You know how I listened to her project and I said, her phrasing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know that when she did, when she was doing the vocals, the phrasing, I know that you emphasize how
Mm-hmm.
important is the phrasing of the words.
It's very it's 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 very important,
Uh huh.
but at the same time, some people want that other feel. Some,
Mm.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people,
Want the country feel.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
I
So you try to. It depends on the song. Most
mm,
gospel music you can get away with the country feel.
yeah.
You know, most gospel music you can.
Right.
If it's not modern gospel.
Uh huh. Right. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard a lot of music like that, and
Yeah.
it's a preference, but
Right.
but when you really look at it, a lot of times the radio stations will not play
Hmm.
music if the music is not right or the
Yep.
phrasing is not right. They'll say, "Oh no, we can reject this type of music." But one of the things is that I listen to the entire project, the music, the
Hmm.
mixes with the different the instruments
Right.
along with the uh artists and the lead vocals and background vocals, and how if to get that tight sound, a lot of times what
Right.
they'll do is they'll stack
Yep. Yeah, sure
the
will.
the the background vocals. You know,
Yep.
do a stacking. Now, these are some of the tips that we're giving some of the artists out there about
Yep.
stacking the vocals in the
Make it sound
background.
wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then being able to or stacking the lead vocals, which is very hard to do, but you can do it. There's
Yeah.
a way you can do it. Inside the studio.
Right.
Also, I think one of the tips is too for new artists and uh, professionals,
Hmm.
to make sure that you're not going in studio horse. You know,
Yes.
I heard one project, and I'm not going to name any names,
Hmm.
because I heard one project, and this is a professional gospel group now,
Hmm.
and you know, and he come out with a project. They did a video, and the lead vocalist voice was hoarse. You
Mm.
know, he was tired, hoarse. And then what they did is they dubbed the video project onto to MP3 CD
Mm.
format. And I was like, you know and you sending this out national, and then you hearing this project, and then you looking at them and saying, these guys are supposed to be professional,
Right.
a professional gospel group, and they're just putting out anything, and you can't do that. You got to watch out what you putting out for, because radio stations, we're musicians and we're artists also.
Right.
So we know,
Yeah.
we're singers also, so we hear it,
Hmm.
and I'm like, a great song, and I was like, man, and how can you just put out anything, so this is why I wanted to make sure that we come on as a industry, to see
Right.
what we can do better, you know?
Right.
Because we can definitely do better. You know, I love those Facebook lives, but hey, you know, take time and going into the studio and then make sure that you are properly, everything is set, background vocals. If you're doing vocal stems, you know, in the background, make sure they're tight
Right.
and
Yeah.
right. You know,
That's right.
leave vocals right. You know, don't be like that one group that put out the project, you know, which sounds good, stomping, foot clapping music, and it's
Right.
like, you know, and we know that it's live, but come on, bring out a project that's going to be, you know, that's going to be presentable to the, you know, public. You know what I'm saying? To
Mm-hmm.
the viewers and listeners, make sure you put out a great product. And so that's one thing I love about you and your music. You know, you took time out. You know, I can hear a lot of the music,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in that one song that you wrote, which is "Get My Praise on That Guitar."
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Priscilla out there saying, "Play that guitar." Yeah. So yeah, you know, and creating the music.
That
You
was
know,
my
how
favorite.
is it for you, the business side, and for Priscilla when you guys created, you know, a Grateful project? How is it on the business side?
The business side of it. Well, on this, she handles. I let her. She's she's always done my business side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was like she always handled everything. Make sure I had everything on the business side straight,
Mm-hmm.
so I could just focus on the music. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she's very good at promoting and pushing and stuff, and making sure copyrights done, and
Mm-hmm.
you know
Right.
all that's very important. That's the first thing you do,
Right.
copyright.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And Priscilla, she posted. Dennis got a new project regarding COVID-19 coming soon.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I know that we wanted to talk about Priscilla's project
Uh-huh.
first, and then we're going to come to you and get into into the good news that you're bringing to us about your new project that you got coming up real soon. But we're talking right now about
Right.
Priscilla at one. Priscilla, if you're out there, we're talking about your project and how
That's,
you created your project.
that's the
And
way she always do.
yes. So yeah, we wanted to talk about her project, and hey, we're gonna just take a break, and what we're gonna do is listen to "Grateful"
Okay.
by Priscilla Atwater, and yeah, bring some good gospel music right here on the Vnetwork Radio.
Grateful, grateful, grateful.
right, all right. Hey, that was new music by Priscilla Atwater, Priscilla Garner Atwater, and the title track "Grateful." I'm telling you, I love that project. And the music portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got that nice, music groove. What inspired you as far as musically on that project to create that the music part of it, because I can hear, and it reminds me of the different type of music.
All
It
right.
reminds me of
Yeah.
a little bit of soul.
A little Al Greenfield.
Yeah, that was great.
That's just what I heard once you sang it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's so great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, when you were creating that the music portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us little tips of when you was in the studio. What did you learn? What did you didn't learn about music, or vocals, or
Mm-hmm.
something in the industry?
Oh, okay. Um, I guess it started back when I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a producer came down from Motown, and I met him through a friend, and he was listening to me play, and he was like, "I could use you on a project." So
Mm-hmm.
I went. Long story short, again, we went to Detroit, and um, I did some studio work at a studio called Cloudborn Studios in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
which was affiliated with Motown. This producer was from Motown, and
Wow.
I did some guitar work and a few
Uh-huh.
keyboard work.
Yeah.
Um, that was during my last year of school, actually,
Wow.
when I was in high school. I missed a lot of days of my last senior year because
Yeah.
I was always in Detroit doing studio work, going back and forth, flying back and forth. Um, so I had to do a lot of catching up to on my grades and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
um, that's where I learned a lot, just watching how they did things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to another studio in Manhattan. Um, that was called Secret Sounds. No, that was Bailey. There's so many,
Right. You work with so many different
so many.
studios and
Yes,
producers.
all over
Uh-huh.
the United States. Mhm.
Wow.
Um,
And I seen on one of the pictures that you posted, and you sent
mhm.
out to me. You work with different artists and different Quincy
Quincy.
Jones, right? You work with a lot of different artists. Hello.
Hmm.
Yeah, you work with a lot of different
Yep.
musicians and
Work with
artists and
Quincy Jones.
producers. Quincy Jones and
I work with hello?
yeah, I hear you. We hear you.
Okay. Okay.
All right, all
I
right.
know you froze. I didn't know.
Yeah, sometimes Facebook does that
Right.
every now and then.
But I worked Quincy was the biggest,
Mm-hmm.
but that was through the movie Color Purple. I had a agent, and she called me up one night and
Mm-hmm.
said, they're shooting a movie called Color Purple. I want you in that movie." So I said, "Well, let's do go down and do the interview and all this."
Mm-hmm.
So I went down, and she was like, "Well, I'll be there at your house, pick you up in the morning around about 7 o'clock, because it's about 2 hour drive to be there on time." So we went down. It was a place called Monroe, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no idea, you know. She said movies. I'm thinking TV, not big screen.
Right.
So I walked in, and he was standing over to the side, and I didn't even see him at first. And then what they was doing, they was auditioning people to come up and play the upright bass. And I said, well, by the time it get to me, I'm gonna be done learned this song.
Right.
Because they was playing to the same song, So people
Right.
up there faking, acting like they playing.
Yeah.
So when it came to me, I already had it down pat. So I went
Mhm.
up and grabbed the thing and started playing it and playing it. And he looked at me. He was like, "How you know that song? How you know that song?" I
Wow.
was like, "I said I'll just sit back there and listen to it, and I just learned it on the spot." And he said, um, "Well, I would like to use you to do that to do this part." He said, "But it's only one problem." I said, "Well, what's that?" He said, "You too short."
Oh wow.
He said, "Because the instrument was like 4 foot taller than I was."
Wow.
But I could play it. It was the upright bass.
Yeah.
That's my first time ever even playing one.
Uh-huh.
So uh, I was supposed to not be in the movie. So what happened? I had to on the day they wanted to shoot it. I had to be in New York in the studio doing some studio work. So I told Quincy, I said, well, I'm not going to even be able to be in the movie. And he said, why not? I said, because I got to be in New York to do some studio work, and y'all gonna be shooting the movie. I can't be in two places at one time. So this is what he did. This is what he did for me. I went in the studio in New York. When I got through, they said, you got a plane ticket waiting. I said, a plane ticket?
Mhm.
And he had paid my way to come back to be in the movie.
Wow. Oh, nice.
So that's how I ended up in it. I wasn't supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
But
Wow. And
so we
that's
did that. And then after that, we went, sat down, had lunch, and talk and everything. And then the next day I came, he said, Dennis, come here. I got somebody I want you to meet. And it was James England.
mhm.
So he had
And
brought him down. And
right.
I met him. Then I got to meet the whole cast, Oprah and Danny Glover and Whoopi Goldberg. And we all had lunch together. And
Wow.
we sat down and talked. Then Quincy, he introduced me to his daughter. He was like, hey, I
Wow.
got somebody else I want you to meet, my daughter.
Uh-huh.
So she drives up in her um, convertible Mercedes. So I got to meet her, and it was cool. The movie was shot like it was cold, but it was 80 degrees, but we was dressed like it was 20.
Uh-huh.
And they had
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, go ahead.
they had a big fan that was probably, the fan looked like it's probably about 50 foot tall,
Mhm.
blowing to make it look like it was real cold.
Wow.
So,
So, I mean, this is why I'm telling you, this is why we wanted to have, you know, uh, start this industry talk,
mhm,
about the industry, because these little things that we would never know, of, it's being brought out,
right, right.
to our viewers out there. And we got a television star, we got producer, we got musician, worldwide here. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that is so great. That's so great. Um, you created your projects. I know you had mentioned earlier part some years, and it's music is always new to me.
Mhm,
When it comes down to music, you created "Get My Praise On," um, "In the Hands of God," "Making a Way," "Two Wings."
mhm.
Um, Tell me something. What's your favorite?
My favorite, uh, it might be No Weapon. I don't know if you
Mm,
have that one.
okay.
It might be No Weapon.
All right.
I just like
Right.
no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Right. Right.
and
Okay. All right.
I think that's my favorite, but I think my anthem is I Can't Make It Without You.
Okay. All right.
But
And down through the years, did you work with any different artists that you haven't spoken of?
I've
With
opened up for
any
a
of these
lot.
projects?
Not as far as projects,
Hmm.
but I opened up for a lot of artists.
Oh, can you name a lot of artists that you worked along with or opened up for?
Sure. Who wants to start first?
you got, you got so many, huh?
I got quite a few.
Oh wow. Well, Quincy Jones is like top. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones, Mighty Clouds of Joy,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
Billy Paul.
Uh huh. Those
Uh,
are some of my
right.
uh idols in the music when I first started. And as you may know of,
Mhm.
if you have seen on my profiles, I'm a guitarist.
Right. Right.
So I know how it is, and yeah, and working with so many different artists in the music industry.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing: is that you had opportunity to work in different genres of music, correct? Or
Yes.
have it always
Yeah.
been gospel?
I had opportunity to work in different genres. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
How is that? Because we talked about musicians doing studio music, and then switching to different genres of music. And how is it for you? As a musician, you
mhm.
know, playing for different, different solo artists and music, different types of music.
Mhm. Um, I actually like it. I like to do that. Um, that's what when I like when we first started. That's why I was meant by not being putting yourself in a box. Because if you put yourself in a box, you're only good for what's in the box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like a lot of your piano players and uh, a lot of them can play all the modern stuff, but they can't play a hymn.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, you're right about that. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to know how to do that. I mean, yeah, it might be easy, but sometimes you have to be easy.
Right.
you know, so that's what I'll be telling some of my students. So I
Mm-hmm.
get also give piano lessons and guitar lessons on Zoom. So I was telling them, you have to, you know, it's no good if you can play everything and then you go to a church to play for a church and then they want to sing a couple of hymns and then you can't get it together. You overplay,
Oh my God.
So
I can hear the chipmunks now,
that's right.
and the crickets.
Right. So, you don't have to be the greatest. Just be
Yeah.
good at what you do.
Right. And be, yeah, and that's one of the things that these young people don't, and a lot of young people don't understand. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, you find too a lot of jazz artists. Now, I don't,
Right.
a lot of, I know of a lot of, especially a lot of guitar jazz artists. They're so used to playing, the jazz
Hmm.
riffs, and then when they come to gospel, it's like, hey man, you jazzing this thing up or what?
Right.
You're not playing, the actual hymns, you jazzing
Right.
it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it work if it works for some, it can work, but you
I
know,
heard people say he's a good artist. He's a good player, but I can't
uh,
sing with him.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. You
Yeah.
know, and going into the studio, and to create your music and your
Mhm.
vocals and things like that. want to make sure you're right. Make sure your vocals are not hoarse. Making
Mm-hmm.
sure that you drink. If you're going to drink a little water, drink a little lukewarm water.
Mm-hmm.
And not nothing cold,
Room
where it's
temperature.
going to freeze up your voice in the
Yep.
studio. And
Yep.
a lot of times they be drinking cold as ice water, and then try to get in the studio, hit that
Same.
note, and you might be off by a little flat note, off,
Yep.
and sometimes you can't fix that.
Sometimes
You
you
gotta
can.
be right. There are tricks for vocals, but but if a person is hoarse and they hit the wrong note, that's it.
Mm-hmm. I
You know,
tell you,
all yeah. Go ahead.
if eat
All, uh
eat it before you sing. If you're going in the studio before you sing, this is one trick I did learn.
all right.
Eat a bag of salt, of like potato chips with salt.
hmm
The salt and the chips will clear all of this when you swallow it. It clear everything.
hmm
Eat a bag of potato chips.
All right. All right.
That's one tip that I
You
heard them
know
say
that work.
that works.
All
Eat a
right.
bag of chips. That salt, because you get the flame in your throat and
Yeah.
all that.
It
Do
brings it
that.
out.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Yeah, and also getting into the studio, background vocals, make sure and between lead and background vocals, you got to be versatile.
Right.
Sometimes lead vocalists, you got to be versatile. Sometimes you got to be able to sing background.
Right.
Don't get caught up into singing lead. Well, I want the lead mic.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yep.
And get caught up to that position and say, hey, and being able to do both parts, and singing live versus studio. That's where a
Whole
lot of artists get caught up in.
whole different world.
Mm, yeah.
Whole different world. Mics are
Uh-huh.
so sensitive they can about hear your heartbeat.
Right. Right. You know, and then you get out there, and the person is nervous already.
Right.
Going into the studio, and then he tries to do a live performance, and giving the whole long testimony, and
Right.
then trying to hit the song. He done forgot the intro of the song,
Yep.
and
Yep.
trying to come back, and it's just a waste of time and
Waste
money.
of time. Right.
Yeah.
And you have to watch your length of your songs too.
Okay.
Very
Now,
important.
what's the average length of a song?
Um, Most of the time, I would say for radio, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably about 3:30, 3:45 is pushing it, you know, because it's airtime.
Oh yeah.
But if you're doing your project and you just want to do that, then you might
Uh
need to come out with a different version of it for the radio.
right. Yep. Yep.
So
So I know
time is
we've been getting so many people that's responding out there, and I
Mhm.
just wanted to see if we had any listeners out there. Let's see if a couple viewers out there. Everybody's inboxing me tonight on this Facebook Live. Hey, write it in the chat, so that we can monitor. Don't inbox me direct, because we're live, and yeah. So we're talking about industry talk. What can we do to make the industry better? And we have Dennis Garner, who is a producer, musician, singer, and he's here, and he's a writer. We talk about the gospel industry, in the industry of music, entertainment, how we can make this industry much better. And we're talking about Priscilla Atwater's new project, Grateful. And it's a brand new project that she wrote herself. And Dennis produced and wrote the music on the song, and yeah, so she's a national recording artist all across the world, and we want to thank her for allowing you to come on to the V Network Radio to represent her. And she just sent me a message, when can I join? So she wants to join next, and so we're gonna have her come up shortly. What we do is we'll come off of Facebook, and then what we do is have her join. We'll come back on Facebook and for part B
Hmm.
of our interview sessions, and you can walk her through the process and logging in. And yeah, so we're gonna hear another song. I like this song. I want to hear Two Wings.
Okay.
All right, I want to hear Two Wings, cause that's a song that they did back in the day.
Yeah.
And I want to hear the twist on it. All right, two
Okay.
wings. All right, here we go. Don't let me get my Fender out.
That's my guitar, Fender.
right, that two wings there. Hey, I want to ask you a question now. What type of guitar did you use when you created the music on that?
Fender,
I heard it. I heard it. Was it a Strat?
the Strat.
Oh, okay, all right. That when I first heard when you first hit that lick, I said, oh, "Don't let me get my Strat now." I heard it. I heard it. I heard it.
Yep,
Yes, yes.
I
Sounded good, man.
love the
Yeah.
sound of Strat.
All right, sounding good. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. I love it, man.
Like,
Artists like yourself inspire me.
mhm,
I've been at a quartet singing for about maybe 5 years now,
mhm.
and just listening to it, I'm like, man, I want to get back into it. It's like, yeah, when I get around artists like you, I'm gonna hit it. Yeah, yes, sir.
I might have to do something and send you something. Let you play on one of my projects.
All right, okay, all right. We love that. Yeah. With technology now, everything's all digital. So you send me a digital file, and
Right.
I can go behind scenes and do my recording and send it back to you, and
That's what I did a couple of weeks ago.
uh-huh.
Somebody did a song. They said they need a guitar solo, so they sent me the file. I laid it in mine, laid it back, sent it back.
Yeah. You got a new project coming out. Everybody's doing a lot of music, especially in the secular world.
Mhm.
They're doing a lot of music, of time.
Right.
We know with back in the day, Curtis Mayfield and a lot
Hmm.
of different artists, they came in and they talked about the Vietnam War, what was going on.
Right.
James Brown,
Yep.
Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass, all these different artists
Hmm.
came in, even by the clouds. They came in and,
Yep.
and
They
talked
sure
about the
did.
time in which we lived in. And so, how important is it, in your music? Now, everybody's different. Some people focus on their life story
Hmm.
in writing their music. Some people focus on love,
All right. Yeah.
whatever, joy, peace, whatever you focus on. How is it for you writing about today's time?
Um, it's kind of I kind of just like just sit back and just look at just look at what's going on, and if it's something that just keeps going over and over and over in my head,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of pull up like a melody to it.
Right.
Um, a lot of times I start with music first, but here lately I've been starting with the hook first.
Okay.
It's just changed, it just hits me different ways,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear music 24/7 in my head. I can turn over when I'm asleep, and I'll be hearing music.
Right.
And a lot of time my wife be like, "Did you hear me?" And I'm like, "Nope." She like, "You hearing that music stuff?" I'm like,
Right.
"Yep."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there all the time.
Yep.
So, but with today's with the song I got a couple of songs.
Mm-hmm.
My sister only heard one. She don't know I got two, but I got
Ah. All right. All right.
uh, one is "Lord Help Me to Stand." That's another one that I've been working on for about maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have to get in touch with my buddy, let him come and rap on it.
Okay.
Uh, um, but the other song is "Lord Heal the Land," and it's a song. If you hear it, you wouldn't think it was me. It's one of those type of songs.
Okay.
So it's coming a little bit from the classical side. It's easy. I call it easy listening music,
Mm-hmm.
but but that's relating to Lord. You know, if you just look at it, you know, you're just saying, Lord, please heal the land because the
Right.
land needs healing. You know.
Okay. Yeah, and so I want to try to get Priscilla on
Okay.
this evening. I know it's kind of we're running behind schedule, but what we want to do is want to make sure to see if we can get her on to at least say hello to her.
Okay.
um, the um the industry. What
Hmm.
would you either change or in the industry? What would you change in the industry?
What would I change in the industry?
Or something that you can make better.
Something that we could make it better. Well, the internet has already made it better
Mm-hmm.
because it keeps it. You know, if you push, they can't block
Right.
you.
Right.
So it's a lot of that going on, and you wouldn't think it, but you know, gospel industry is tough for it to be gospel industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, but like I say, I want to give it to credit to all the musicians like yourself and vocalists and producers, songwriters.
Hmm.
Like I say, in the gospel music is like booming right now.
Yeah.
They're because they a lot of times they have time on their hands to, you know, uh, create those creative juices out and go into the studio and write those songs and
Hmm.
present those songs. So a lot of artists are doing that right now, and
Yeah.
so I give you guys 100% support for the industry. In the industry music for gospel music. Now we do, like I say, play other genres of music, and I see other
Mhm.
genres doing, Conway West and
Right.
the normal Jay Z and
Right.
all these different other artists. They're constantly on the move,
Yeah.
creating their music. But I'm so proud of gospel music, especially contemporary. They're doing A1 the top on billboards, and
Hmm.
and then also the quartet. Individual soloists, coming out with their music genres. Hey,
Hmm.
doing a great job, and I want to congratulate everyone on your project. Thank you so much for creating your project. Is there anything that you would like to? I'm gonna give you the last words, and we'll come out. We'll leave out with making a way of, and yeah. Last few words in the program.
Just like to thank all my fans.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
And if
Thank
they wanted to get some of your music or get Priscilla's Atwater's music,
Mhm.
how would they be able to do that?
They probably could either Google it or they could probably go to Amazon or go to um, you YouTunes and um, just pretty much CD
Okay.
Baby.
All the digital outlets.
All the digital outlets.
All
Definitely.
right, all right, all right, all right. We've been listening to a new project by Priscilla Garner Atwater called Grateful, and she's a national recording artist. And we have her brother Dennis Garner, who is a producer, songwriter, musician, all the above. And he co-wrote and worked on this project, Grateful. And he has several projects that he worked on, several songs that he worked on. Some of the songs we talked about with him is "Get My Praise On." We talked about "Grateful," of course, "In the Hands of God," "Making a Way," and "Two Wings." And so we're going to take it out with "Making a Way." Hey, Dennis, thank you so much for tuning in to the V Network Radio. Hey, man, we can talk all night long. I'm telling you,
I
in the
appreciate.
gospel industry.
Thank you
Yeah.
though. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we're gonna bring it out with "Making a Way" with Dennis Gardner.
Making a way, making a way for me. He keeps making a way.
All right, God bless. And
Okay.
stay tuned, Facebook. Stay tuned, Facebook. We're going to come back on and see if we can get Priscilla on for about another 15, 20 minutes, a half hour. We come back, bring you the best in gospel music right here on the Vnetwork Radio. Make sure you tell a friend, tell a neighbor, relative. We're on. Hey, this weekend we're playing 24/7 gospel. So make sure you tune in.